convenience store in Hazel and Long when a guy by the name of Mark Anthony Solis and his buddy arrived and robbed him and basically shot and killed him. That happened at about 6 a.m. I got the call on that. We began to investigate that. We worked until about 8 o'clock that night, and I was determined to find this individual, Mark Anthony Solis, because not only had he shot Ruben Martinez, but he had shot 2 other individuals in the meantime. So he basically went on a crime spree that entire morning. About 14 hours later, I spotted Mark Anthony Solis. He was going down Long Avenue. We got into a car chase with him, and we were able to take him into custody. He later went to trial, and he's sitting on death row right now. So I was very happy to be part of the Ruben Martinez case. So I spent a short year in robbery. After that, I went to the homicide unit, where I've been assigned currently. I'm in the homicide unit. I've been there 8 years. I work on a team of 10 individuals, 10 detectives. We have a supervisor. We are responsible for investigating not only homicides, we investigate suicides, overdoses, accidental deaths, anything that appears to be a suspicious death. We stay very busy, unfortunately. The number one question that I always get is about our crime rate. Right now, our crime rate has increased the last 5 years. Last year, we had 70 murders in the city of Fort Worth, and we're on pace to top that this year as well. So, we ask for all your support here on trying to get more officers on our streets. We are overloaded with work as far as the patrol guys go. They're constantly going from calls to calls to calls, and our city is just growing, so we need to push that to increase our police officers as well. We can't just have the city grow without having police protection. So my opinion is that the reason that we have an increase in murders in the last 5 years is because we don't have enough police officers in the city, and the city is continuing to grow. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'll take any questions that you guys may have that relates to our police department or our homicide unit. Yes, sir.
I have a question. What kind of programs, like mentoring programs, are there to recruit Latinos to the police department? I know that the percentages of Latinos in the police department, fire department are very low.
Yes, sir.
So we have to do aggressive recruitment.
All right.
Are we doing that for work?
Yes, sir. With the new chief that is in place, Mr. Chief Joe Fitzgerald, they started actually going out to some of these universities where predominantly we have minorities. I'm not just talking about Hispanic, we're talking about black students as well. So they started sending recruits to these, to San Antonio, down to the different, we're getting away from Fort Worth because we don't have enough people in Fort Worth as far as Hispanics or just people in general applying in the city of Fort Worth. Out, and that's what's happening is that we're actually sending people or recruits to these cities where it's predominantly Hispanics and to a lot of universities that are predominantly minority. So there is a push for minority recruiting. Yes.
Mental illness? I'm sorry, you said for mental illness?
As far as training police officers to deal with mental illness population.
Yes. We just started the unit, I guess, within the past year. And it's the CIT unit, the Critical Intervention Team, I believe is what it's called. It's called the Critical Intervention Team. It's a group of officers that are trained to specifically deal with mental illness situations. So if we get a call where there's a situation where someone is reported to possibly have mental illness and is committing a crime or is out of control, those are the first guys that are dispatched, is that mental illness team that's constantly patrolling, answering those type of calls. So there is an awareness of that need, and I think we're addressing that in the city of Fort Worth.
And kind of a concern also, I also belong to United Fort Worth, and just recently, I was really, I'm very angry and sad at the same time with everything that's going on here in Tarrant County. And I want to know, because just recently I wrote a letter in Spanish to a mother that had reported but as a police officer, as an individual police officer, how are you dealing with women that are probably not going to want to report domestic abuse because the sheriff in Fort Worth is working hand in hand with ICE, and what is the police department's view on that? Because our community needs to know. And that could be an increase in crime, and I think you know that. Because if we don't report the crime because we're afraid that we're gonna get picked up and sent to a detention center where we're reporting abuse, what is the police department doing about that? Or how are you handling those questions? And it affects all of us. It affects the school children that come to our schools and our learning community. And I beg to differ with you. There's a lot of Latinos in Fort Worth. We're in the east side, west side, north side, south side. And Texas Wesleyan has a lot, is one of the Hispanic serving institutions. So I do think that with recruiting people, you really have to have good people in place to recruit candidates. But we're here, and I'm sure there's young people that want to be police officers. So, two things.
Yes, ma'am. The first question about domestic violence, again, I'm a homicide detective, so I'll touch on what I believe is appropriate because I have a lot of experience dealing with domestic violence on a constant basis. My training is homicide division, but domestic violence is not just a Fort Worth problem. This is a nationwide problem. We see it throughout every aspect of life. We see it with the sporting events, the superstars, the actors, the entertainers. You see it everywhere, and that's the number one thing is that people just don't report domestic violence the way they should. They may report it initially, and then when it comes to follow up and prosecute and go forward with the detectives, for the most part, the female decides that, okay, maybe I was mad that day, I don't want to go forward. This guy's the guy that brings the bread and food to the table, so maybe I don't want to do anything after all. And it's a cycle of violence, and then we'll do it again. But as far as the other issue with the sheriff, again, that has nothing to do with the police part as far as what the sheriff's doing. He's doing his thing, he's got his view on it.
But how does she, well, I know it's an individual case and I really don't know the specifics of it because, you know, I know as a woman, if somebody's going to try to beat me up, I'll probably be the one beating somebody up. But, so I know that, I don't know in particular what happened in this situation, you know, but to me it's like if you have women that are already not speaking for themselves, like we need to teach our Latinas better to speak for themselves. If you have women that are afraid to come out and say that somebody's beating them up, how are we helping them?
Well, I can tell you that we deal with illegal individuals.
No, that's illegal, brother.
Well, illegal or Latino, whatever you want to call it, we deal with that on a daily basis. And I can guarantee you that I have not had anyone that refuses to come to my office because they're illegal. If someone's committed a crime, they're more than willing to come tell me about this crime. If they witness a crime, if they're a victim of a crime, they're more than willing to come to our office. They don't not come to my office because they're illegal or because they're afraid they're Latino. That's a myth, and I'm not sure about the situation with the lady in Pearland. If it happened in Fort Worth and no one followed up on it, get with me after this, and we'll be more than happy to look into that case.
Hi, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nestor Martinez. I'm the neighborhood police officer here. I'm also the president of the Latino Police Officer Association here in Fort Worth. To address your issues and kind of follow through with this, the city of Fort Worth, over years, and I say about 5 years, has implemented policy to protect people and to make sure that officers are not involved in any civil rights violation. Our policy is very strict, it's very strenuous, it's detailed, so that we don't fall and we don't have that type of issue happening here in Fort Worth. If you look at our call, like for example, a specific case, if somebody comes to me and literally says, hey, I'm illegal, you know, I'm undocumented here in the city of Fort Worth, I'm undocumented here.
No human being in this planet is illegal. Please address it.
Okay, undocumented. Is that good? Okay. If the person is undocumented in the city of Fort Worth and they come to us and say, hey, I'm undocumented, we either have the choice to go into the investigation or continue on with that investigation while we have that probable cause in the first place, while we're actually talking to that person in the first place. Our policy is very detailed to the point that we just don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Everything that's in place right now with the city of Fort Worth is to transport these prisoners and book them in for whatever charge they have into Tarrant County. Tarrant County has a very specific policy where they basically do a background check on that person once they're processed in for our charges. Okay? Once they are processed in for our charges, the information is sent over to ICE. They determine if there's going to be an illegal detainer on that person or not. It's out of our hands from that point forward. Now, if a person is undocumented and is a victim of crime, we have policies in place where those people can actually set up it's kind of like an amnesty program to where they are helped to stay here and not be deported to conduct our investigation and to help our investigation.
Is there anywhere where we can look at it and send it to people or have access to it?
Yes, ma'am. All that stuff is within our City of Fort Worth website and within our policy. You just have to get to the right person. You can send the information to me. Now, one thing on the information, United Fort Worth is very well followed in the City of Fort Worth. It goes back to the responsibility of you of communicating this information to our people. Our undocumented people say, come out and report these crimes. Don't be a silent victim. It goes back to the community. It's your responsibility to say, hey, the City of Fort Worth is doing their best to prevent this from happening, to prevent the civil rights violations, to prevent all that stuff that you hear about the news. So as an organization, I ask you to pass that information along to your followers and come support us in what we're trying to do. Because all that stuff that you see on the news, all that stuff that's the bad news that you hear about, it's not happening here in Fort Worth. We have yet to see one case of that actually happening. If this lady reported it correctly, went to the right agency and had that report documented, then she should have been protected just because she was a victim of crime in that case.
Well, officer, I respect you, and I respect from you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go find the particulars of what happened in this situation, and I'm going to look for you. Okay?
Absolutely.
And I know that the police officers have they're treading the line. Believe me, I don't mean no disrespect or anything like that, because I know that it's hard to go into a domestic abuse situation. But and I understand what you're telling me about we need to educate our people, but if you're afraid and you're seeing everything that's happening, you're not going to want to report it. I know that affects all of us as a community. It affects you, it affects us. If they don't want to report the crime, because if you have somebody in case in point and I'll need to tell you out, call you out. But the same respect that we give you, we would hope that you would give back to us and recognizing that we're immigrants and we're not illegals. Okay, so I really appreciate all the work that you do, and thank you for being in our community.
All right, thank you very much. I want to we're going to go ahead and get ready to. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you back. Get ready to close today's breakfast. I do want to say just from a person to touch on what was said earlier from this side and so forth. Detective Shul, to hear this. I had a very, very close personal family member that is mentally ill, did not properly take their medication. For all the things that they did at their house, if medication wasn't involved, the Fort Worth Police Department was very well in their right to take them to jail and to book them and put them through the process because crimes were committed. However, the Fort Worth police officers in the North Division, right over 820 by Old Decatur Road, they were outstanding in listening to the fact that this individual was on medication, had got off and did some bad things while they were off, and got them to JPS, got them to the 10th floor psychiatric ward, and got them some help immediately. They took them in the personal police car because the ambulance couldn't get there. So I just want to say thank you to the Fort Worth Police Department, thank you to the detective for being here, thank you for all the speakers that were here today. We hope that you all keep them in mind to come out in November to vote for them. I want to keep the officers and Nestor, keep everyone here in our prayers. What happened right here, this dialogue, this is why we come together, to learn and to help each other, to support each other. And that's why I say every time in my post about this, we're making history together. Because now there is a connection. Now Araceli has someone she can go to directly. Now we have someone that has shared what it's like to work on not a higher level, but a different level from just working on the beats. Thank you all so much for being here. What we're going to do now is have our announcement section. I'm asking 1 minute, give you the mic for 1 minute to quickly announce your event coming up, your organization. If the candidates want to take some volunteers, I'll be back here in the back corner and help them take any names down. But please get engaged. Help this community grow, help us be stronger. Remember, no Mexicans allowed. Think of that. What it should be is no Mexicans should ever be allowed to be treated the way we've been treated for hundreds of years. We built this country, and we're going to keep building this country. We just have to rise to the occasion, help each other out, and move onward and upward. Thank you. It's now announcement time. Come on down.
I'm just going to talk from here real quick. We're raising funds, we're collecting funds for Luis Castañeda. He has cancer. He's in stage 4 of the treatment. He's finished the chemotherapy. He's ready to start his radiation therapy. He needs surgery to remove his ganglia. He doesn't have any benefits, doesn't qualify for Medicaid. Doesn't have a job, he couldn't work, he was school sick. His brother's helping him, and that's the only help he has. He's got over $100,000 in medical bills. So we're just trying to help him. Whatever you can donate, God bless you, thank you, he needs that. And Amy's gonna come around, whatever you can help him, thank you.
Quick question, brother. Do you have an address that some of us could mail checks or money orders to, or a GoFundMe or anything like that?
He has a GoFundMe account.
And what is the name of the GoFundMe account?
I can email it to you.
Okay, we'll get together. And if it's okay with Mr. Garcia, can we give it to the distribution list?
No problem.
Okay, it's going to go to about 2,000 people. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Sylvia Rodriguez, and I am a voter registration advocate. You guys have seen my sign everywhere. I think this coming together right now is great. Having meetings, having rallies, walks, different talks and everything, but it all boils down to, are you registered to vote? And will you step out on election day and actually vote? The statistics are 3 in 10 adults are registered to vote. 1 in 10 actually go out on election day and vote. So, my feeling is, you need to be the matriarch in your family. Make sure everybody in your family is registered to vote. And actually take them on early voting and voting day to be able to register to vote, to let your voice be heard. Because, as everybody knows, your vote is your voice. Su vota es su voz. Thank you. And also, on another note, just to touch on the recruiting for the Fort Worth Police Department, they've partnered with Fort Worth ISD and Tarrant County College to be able to go into middle schools and as early as some elementary schools to offer the services to be able to go to the Marine Creek College that does support Fort Worth ISD and the Fort Worth Fire Department. So just for a little information on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joe Martinez. I'm a local pastor here in the city of River Oaks. And here on the tables, if you guys see the flyers that we have on here for you, real quick, we're going to hold our first annual 5K on August the 4th here at Trinity Park. And we invite everyone to come down. All the proceeds that we're going to get from our event, they're going to go to our Patriots veterans. So we have any veterans in here? Oh man! So it's going to benefit our veterans. It's also going to benefit our women and children safe haven homes here in our city, and also going to benefit our Christmas in the Park event that we hold for our homeless community in December. So we're happy to have Tejano Gold Radio that have partnered with us. Mr. Luis Aldivar, who's going to be speaking here in a second, he's going to be opening up both races. So we want to invite everyone to come on down. We want to see the LULAC family here from our city as well. So keep in mind, it's on August 4th. The both races, one's going to start at 7:45 a.m. The other one's going to start at 8 a.m. But it's at Trinity Park Pavilion 1, right in front of Chewy's, right there on West 7th. So we hope that you can make it. invite your friends. You don't have to run, you can walk, or you can just go up there and have a good time. So this is a city event. It's the first annual event that we're gonna hold, and it's the first time that this has ever been done. Right now we have many sponsors. We have over 10 major sponsors, and we have numerous partners that have partnered with us for this event. So Tejano Gold Radio allowed us to do an interview this past Thursday, so we put the word out as well. So we hope you can make it. We have Sister Norma, the President and CEO of Redemption Tree Outreach Ministries, that's going to talk to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Norma Lasoya, and I'm over Redemption Tree Outreach Ministry. And we feed every Saturday the homeless in South Fort Worth. And we also have a clothes closet. We also provide someone to, for those that have lost their vital records, we help them recover their vital records, birth certificate, ID, immigration cards. We also partner with Catholic Charities and help them get on a list for apartment. And we also help partner with Billy Gravy and Pine Street if they want to go into rehab. And we help those people that want to get back on their feet, that are hopeless and down, and give them hope and lift them back up. And they can come back to the community again and get a job and their house, apartment. And we also furnish them with furniture and dishes, whatever they need to get back on their feet. And that's what we did for Tree Outreach Ministries is about. Thank you.
My name is Lee Saldivar with LULAC 4743. I know we got a real good priority since this is a LULAC meeting, that we need to go to Phoenix, Arizona and have a new national director for LULAC, which will be Domingo Garcia. So that's the reason that we're putting all this together. On this thing with this run, we made it, or they made it in a way for the people my age can do a 1K, and the people that got a little bit more gusto can do the 5K. So the 1K will be there real early, so we won't drop out. So let's jump over there and support him. This is what LULAC's about. I don't know if he mentioned it or not, but we are talking about the homeless, and when he started talking about the homeless vets that are being ignored out there, that's the people that we need to look forward to. Thank you.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estamos? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tristeza Ordex Ramirez, and I am the president of a new group called El Voto es Latino. We've been working with individuals like Sylvia and other members of the community to get the vote out, especialmente in the Latino community, because as we know, a lot of us are registered to vote, y hay unos que no votan. So we want to make sure that we get these individuals out to vote. We're going to be starting a campaign pretty soon where we're going to be going and knocking on over 2,200 doors. So if you're interested in helping out, please get with me. I would love to get you information and share what we're doing. Another part of what our group does is that we support Democratic candidates, and we help them with either phone banking, canvassing, social media. If there's any questions about who is on the ballot that you'd like to know, please get with me, and we'd love to get that information to you so you know who is on the ballot and why it's important for us to get out and vote as Latinos.
How much do you charge?
We charge $0. Everything is self-funded because we're big advocates for the grassroots movement. And we want to minimize the money that a lot of these candidates are spending to get people to come out there, and we need Spanish speakers. Porque tenemos muchos aquí en la comunidad, especialmente aquí en Northside, que tal vez no hablan mucho inglés o no hablan inglés. So lo que queremos hacer es apoyarlos a ellos. We want to encourage every single Latino that is eligible to vote to register and get out and vote, or those that are registered to go and vote. Yes, ma'am.
How are we reaching the 18 plus? Because I know that there's a huge body of kids that are 18 that are ready to vote. How are we reaching those?
So the way that we're reaching a lot of the young voters is through
pop culture, because that's a really big thing. You're not gonna attract somebody anymore with just your basic red, white, and blue. You need something bright, you need something loud, you need something fun. So we do these things called call parties, where we phone bang, we decorate, we do everything like Latinos do, potluck style, quien va a traer qué. Everybody brings something. We had a call party yesterday, and we've been able to help on a couple of different campaigns. We've already endorsed a few candidates. Some that are one from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Also, we endorsed Patricia Torres-Rey, that's running in Minnesota for Congress, and Vanessa Adia. So we're still sitting down and talking with more candidates, especially here in the local area, because this is our home right here. This is our home. And Texas, we need to flip it. We need to turn it blue. And at the very minimum, we need to make it purple, right? So if you're interested in helping out, we have a bunch of young people that are coming out to help us make calls and to help us knock on doors. Please tell your kids, tell your nieces, your nephews, primos, primas, que vengan y que nos ayuden, because we really need the help, because that's the way that we're going to be able to put a dent in these elections.
Thank you. We are now to the conclusion of today's breakfast. I want to let you know that I'm waiting for Rebecca Aguilar, who all you know from the news. She has confirmed to be either a guest speaker or guest host in one of the next 2 following months, so make sure you're looking out for the invitation and the post. So thank you all for being here today. Have a great week. Have a great rest of the year. We'll see you soon. Thank you.